Is your work sustainable? Is the way you've set up your time, your money, your energy in your business life proof? Welcome back to the podcast, guys. You know who I am. I'm Heather Chauvin. And if you've been listening to me long enough, you know what Mom is in Control is all about. It's about helping you feel in control of your life from the inside out, in your parenting, your work, your relationships, your health, money, time, and energy. So I've been getting a lot of questions lately about, people always ask about balance. And I think balance is bullshit. That word actually triggers me. I'm all about alignment, and it's not about how do I do work and life at the same time. I think that's a symptom to a deeper rooted problem, and it's a socially acceptable question to ask. So I've kind of created a little series. So in the next few podcasts, I'll be talking about business and different aspects of it. But I wanted to talk about sustainability today. So when I'm teaching and working with my women in my Soul Elite program, what we talk about is business sustainability, business profit, and ease. So if your business is not sustainable, it's going to burn you out, eventually kill you. If your business is not profitable, it's actually not a business. It's a very expensive hobby. And if you don't find moments of ease and alignment in your business, then it's not the business for you, or there's not systems and strategies in place that are going to be sustainable long term. So sustainable, profitable, and ease. I talk a lot about ease, and people say, but this is so hard. This is so hard. What's the difference between something being ease and easy or hard and all of that fun stuff? So I'm not going to be that person that sugarcoats things for you. I'm sure you already know this, but in the online world, you can get sucked into this bullshit dream and illusion that, if you just take my 6 easy steps to make 6 figures in your business, then you will find ease and flow, and you'll be frolicking in the wind on the beach with your children in tow, and your ass will look amazing. In order to get that nice ass, you have to go to the gym. In order to go to or work out at home. In order to do that, you have to have motivation, you have to have boundaries, and you probably need to be willing to love yourself just a little bit, right? Have a little bit of self-respect to invest that money and that time in yourself. If you want to be able to frolic on the beach with your family, you have to have some money to do that, unless you live on the beach, or have somebody with a really nice camera to take a picture of you so that you can post it on Instagram and tell the world what you're up to. So the truth is, there's a lot of bullshit out there, right? People posting these pictures of illusions of, oh, look at me, look at me, look at me, right? The basic human needs want to be seen, heard, and understood. And I see so many women just crying to be seen, heard, and understood. And if we're not feeding our basic human needs as souls and as people, it doesn't matter if you're a mother or not. You're going to be miserable, angry, resentful, and burnt out. So sustainability to me in business actually starts with you. You are your greatest business asset, number one. And you are your number one investment. So I know what you're going to say, but I feel guilty for doing anything for myself, Heather. I feel guilty for taking time for myself and my family. My family needs this and that, and oh, my poor children. Oh, Mama, you've been using your children as scapegoats. You've been putting them in front of you and saying, look at me, look at my children. I'm going to project my guilt onto them, when really it's just a smokescreen for fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment. How dare you make more money than your husband, working half the time? How dare you work more than your husband and make more than your husband? How dare you be happy? How dare you piss your parents off because you didn't do the career choice that they wanted you to? How dare you to say, Being a stay-at-home mom is not for me anymore. My soul is slowly leaving my body. How dare you choose to be a stay-at-home mom and say, I choose to consciously not work? How dare you? Right? I understand that we all give birth to guilt. It's kind of like, here out comes the baby, you get this child, you adopt this child, you acquire this child, you love up this child, and you will feel guilty. And if it's not your children, it will be your partner. And if it's not your partner, it will be your dog. And if it's not your dog, you're going to feel guilty for someone else. But guilt, I actually feel, is just self-sabotage. It's a way to hide behind other people and use them as a scapegoat. Another thing I want to talk about is this demystifying heroes, and then we'll get back to the sustainability in business. So it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. I hope you're loving up yourself today. I actually had to get off of Facebook because these Mother's Day posts were pissing me off. I was seeing these clips of all these videos of how women were saying, okay, husbands, men, this is how I want you to treat us today. And it was like belittling men of like, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. Well, guess what? You are your own person. We don't need to project our anger and resentment onto other people because we're unwilling to take care of ourselves. Right? I remember when I was growing up, somebody in my family said to me, your father does nothing. And as a little child, my like knowing in that moment was he does nothing because he doesn't have to, because you do everything and almost wipe the man's ass. And this is why we call it the man flu. So I think there's a huge ache inside of a lot of women that we're masking this big sense of purpose in our lives. And we're using our children as our purpose, or we're using our work as our purpose. But the truth is, what is behind all of that? And so when it comes to business, the number one thing you need to know is the way that you're functioning in your business sustainable? Meaning, is it in alignment with the work that you want to do? If it's not, there's going to be no passion there, and it's literally just going to suck the life out of you. Is your business model sustainable? So if I asked you, do you want to be doing this in the next 30 years? What's your answer? Yes or no? Like if you asked me that right now, my answer would be yes. Maybe my business model would shift, but I still want to be spreading the same message in 30 years from now. I don't ever want to retire from this work. So, when your work is in alignment and you're making a bigger impact in the world, that's sustainability, right? It's long-term gain, and it's more profitable that way because you're not going to burn yourself out and then say, fuck it, I can't do this anymore. And then all the money that you've made, you're going to have to recruit back into your health to be sustainable so that you can live a healthy, long life. How many people do you know that are like, oh, I'm almost at the finish line. I just need to get to retirement. And once I get to retirement, then I can live because I'll have this amazing pension. Insert giggles. And then they retire and they have no sense of purpose. And they spend all of their time, their money, and their energy restoring their health, and sometimes never getting back to it. Is your business sustainable? Is it sustainable? Are you allowed or able to go on vacation? Can you take a break in your work to recharge? Do you take a break in your work? Do you? How many hours a week do you want to be working? Is it sustainable? So I'm going to tell you my own personal story. I used to be a social worker, worked in a government agency. I remember walking into this building. I actually remember getting the interview and going, I don't want this job. I don't want this job. But I always grew up being taught you have to work, get a job. So I got this job and I literally tried so hard. Like my body was saying, not this, Heather. Don't do this. Don't walk into this. I'm like, well, it's a good job. This is what, a lot of people go to school for this job, like to get this exact job. So if I get it, woohoo, right? And cross something off my bucket list and then be like, why do I hate this? So I get the job and walking in my first day, not excited at all, like life being sucked out of me. And I'm like, there's no fucking way that I can do this for 30 years. Like, no way. And of course, because you're on the bottom, my hours were shit and I had to do all the crappy hours, which meant like I was away from my children a lot at like the most awful times of the day. Like I didn't even eat with my family because of the times I was working. And I thought, one, this isn't sustainable. Like I'm going to lose my mind. So as I convinced myself, okay, you got this, you got this. Yeah, I'm fine, right? Mel Robbins defines fine as fucked up insides, nice exterior. I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And on the outside and on paper, it looked great. So everyone's saying, congratulations. And inside I'm going, for what? Because I traded my soul for a paycheck? I don't want that paycheck. Like why don't you just give the paycheck to a freaking funeral home? Because legit, I think I'm going to die soon. Like this is ridiculous. But I wouldn't leave. I wouldn't leave because one, I was terrified. I didn't know what else I wanted to do. And two, because this is what everybody else did. And if I actually left, I felt like a failure. Like I was leaving something I worked so hard for. I worked so hard to get my degree. Now that I got the job that quote unquote everybody wanted, how dare I leave? How dare I? I'm an awful person, right? So then I start my business. I finally get up the courage. The reason why I actually started my business was because I made a decision. Am I going to invest in a coach? Because I knew a little bit about coaching in the online world. Back then, it wasn't as big as it is now. And I had a conversation with this woman. She's like, do you want to join my mastermind? It's this. And I'm like, wow, this sounds like a miracle. I feel like I'm dying on the inside. And I kind of do have a business idea, but I don't know if it can go anywhere. I don't believe in myself. So at the time I made a decision. Am I going to go back and get my master's because that's what everybody was doing? Or am I going to invest in myself? And I made a conscious decision with nobody else's approval to invest in myself. All my friends went back for their masters, and now today they're literally all starting their own businesses, or most of them are because their souls have completely left their body and they just feel awful. So I'm glad I made that decision, but it was really, really hard in the moment. So as I started my business, I fell into the trap of more pain equals more gain. Hustle, 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 push, 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 go, 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 work 24 hours a day. That's the entrepreneurial lifestyle, right? I didn't have many mentors at the time who were mothers. A lot of my mentors and coaches were single or just married, but they didn't have children. So I felt like there was a niche there that I could really support. And there are a lot of, women out there that do support mothers in careers, and everyone has their own message and their way of doing things. But I do find a lot of people are about the business aspect of it and not so much the internal freedom aspect of it, and like really understanding that sustainability of who do I want to be? How do I want to show up in my life, right? Career is part of your life. It's one hat that you wear. Motherhood is one hat that you wear. Wife, partner, friend, sister, aunt, whatever is one hat that you wear. But who are you? And I truly believe that the more that we know ourselves, the more awake that we become, the more conscious that we become, the more we feel in alignment and in control in our lives. And so that's what sustainability is to me. But back then, it wasn't sustainable. Again, I was re-entering this field, a new field in business, and I wasn't familiar with business because I've never owned a business before. And so as I started my business, I'm like, oh my God, I'm tired. I'm this. And I was just told, push, 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 work harder, more, put more on your to-do list and get it done. And as you know, if you've been following me 4 years ago, almost 5 years now, I was diagnosed with a stage 4 cancer, and I was young, 3 boys at the time. And before I knew, guys, I totally knew this. I knew I was sick. I didn't know I had cancer. Well, I kind of did, but I knew for a really long time that I was sick, and I just didn't listen to my body's signs because I was listening to the outside world that you push, 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 push. So my business was not sustainable. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? It survived. My business survived. It was hard for a really long time because I had to force myself to slow down. I had to force myself to slow down to speed up. Have you ever heard that? I think it's a book. I had to get really crystal clear on what exactly I wanted my business to look like. Did I like coaching one-on-one? Did I like group? Did I want to do retreats? Did I want to do workshops? Right? It wasn't about sticking noodle or throwing noodles at the wall anymore and seeing which ones they stuck. I had to stop with the shiny object syndrome of, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this. No, what did I want to do? Rinse and repeat. I tell this to my clients all the time. Rinse and repeat. Focus on what works and do it again and again and again and again. And yes, make it fun, make it exciting. But remember, you are more than your business. Is it sustainable? So as I was recovering, I had to start asking myself, how do I want to feel? And I had to incorporate that in my day. Since then, I have, before cancer, I should get the numbers out, but it was a very expensive hobby before. I didn't have the right guidance to help me with creating sustainability, helping me focus on profit first or creating ease. It was more of do this. This is what I teach. I teach product launch, or do this. I teach mindset, or do this. I teach blah, blah, blah. And so I was looking all over the place of like, okay, I'm going to invest in this product. I'm going to invest in this product. So my expenses were really, really high because they were all over the place. And so what I really wanted was just one person to call me out on my bullshit and see my sabotage and look at me and say, Heather, what do you want? I want to make money. I want to make an impact. Great. Let's do it this way. And it wasn't until I had a coach that actually did that for me where everything changed. And so that, with the mix of being convinced, not being convinced, but making a commitment to my health, allowed me to create a sustainable business that not only fed my soul, but made an impact in the world and drastically shifted the impact on women's lives. And now giving me the space and ability to write the book for you guys. So sustainability can look very different for multiple people. But in business, you have to start asking yourself, how do I want to feel? And does this work for me? How do I want to feel? And does this work for me? Because if you go down the rabbit hole, I mean, you can just go on Facebook and you'll see like many, many ads pop up of like, this is what you're doing wrong, right? This is why, if you do this, magic will happen in your life. And it could be in how to get 6-pack abs over the weekend, why you're not getting 6-pack abs over the weekend, why this diet is better, why that diet is better, why this email sequence is better, why that email sequence is better. I'm telling you guys, this is why I love meditation and mindfulness. It all comes back to your breath. Sit with yourself. Inhale the good shit. Exhale the bullshit. Get out your pen and paper and ask yourself, what do I need to let go of? Your body knows. Your body knows. Your mind knows. Your life knows. What do I need to give myself permission to do? You are your greatest business asset. You're actually the leader of your tribe. Whether you have employees, whether you have people you're going to hire, you have people that look up to you, your clients, your community, whatever it is, you are the leader. And you can only carry people. You can only push them up as far as you are willing to go. So I'm a huge advocate of scaring the shit out of yourself. Huge, huge advocate. Like I do it all the time. When I feel too comfortable, I have to do something to challenge myself. Whether I'm like, okay, I've never ran a marathon. Now let's run a marathon. Ooh, I've never done this. Let's do that. Challenge yourself to get out of your own way. Think outside the box. Ask for help. Ask for feedback to create sustainability in your business and your life. So, your action step today, pen and paper. Journaling, game changer. Yes, I know it's a simple concept. Yes, I know you will resist it, but it's like drinking water or eating healthy or working out. Once it becomes a habit, you're going to say, why did I take so long to implement this? Write this down. What aspects of your life or business do not feel sustainable? When you're saying, oh, dear God, please help me. I can't do this anymore. That is the universe saying to you, knock, 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 pay attention to me, something needs to change. Write that down, dump it out, lock yourself in the bathroom, and figure it out. Thank you guys so much for listening. Tomorrow, I don't know, in the next day or two, I'm going to be putting out the next podcast in this business series. So if you have any questions about business, send them to support@heatherchauvin.com, and I will answer them live. And what else do I have? Oh, Soul Elite. This is my one-on-one intensive. There's a group aspect as well where you're going to be surrounded with other women in business who are also moms. And I'm all about sustainability, profit, and ease. But if you've been looking for mentorship, if you've been looking for a coach or somebody to kind of help you create the systems and strategies, help you with the mindset, help you with the internal emotional freedom and energy behind creating the life that you want and the business that you want, I would love to connect and talk. So go to heatherchauvin.com/Soul Elite. Just fill out the short application. I'm curious, what's your business vision? What stage are you at in your business? Where do you want to go in the next 6 to 12 months? Where do you feel stuck? And we'll get on the phone and have a conversation if it feels like a good fit. So thank you guys. All I want you to know is one, happy Mother's Day. I love you. You are so worthy of your desires. Don't get angry at anybody today. If you need to, just get in your car or get on a bike or use your legs and just run. Just run away if you need to. That's okay. Just give yourself permission one day just to do that. I'm running away today. It's Mother's Day. I can do that. What else? I don't know. All I know is that life is meant to be lived and sustainability is possible. But if you're not willing, and I giggle because it's just hilarious how the mind works. I can't. If you believe you can't, or can, you're right. Henry Ford said it, something. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So use and choose your words wisely.